Are you ready?
Ba-ba-da-ba!
Oh my God.
Barbie summer has arrived. Hello, my name is Ken. And drag is not a crime, bitches.
Hey everyone, my name is Justin. And I'm Eddie.
Welcome to the Queer Network.
And this is Queer Talk.
That was it.
Okay, you Queer Network little Ken doll.
That's right. We're giving queer Barbie. Mullet, blonde. Yeah. Gender affirming Barbie.
So queer people, we don't know what we're talking about. We don't know what to talk about. That's why
For the first time ever.
That's why you need to come on our show. We need to, have some fresh blood.
Fresh perspectives.
Fresh perspectives, that's the word. So yeah.
Well, I mean, what usually gets us into a conversation is just like what's going on in our lives.
Yeah.
And I would say for me, I'm like, this last month has been trying in terms of my health, and I'm not trying to be dramatic. It's not like I had some disease or something. But allergies and being sick at times have just compounded into a very interesting month where I really didn't feel like myself. And it is not that I was myself. I had to work, I had to live my life, but while I was doing those things, I really didn't feel like the version that most people know of Justin. I can put on a face and I can put on a performance when I need to, but anytime I wasn't working or doing something I had to do, I was resting because I just really couldn't. I really couldn't be social. It was very interesting because I am a very social person. And this weekend was Memorial Day in America, and I went to a little dance party on Sunday, and that was the first time in over a month that I've even felt the impulse to be social. And I think it's what it brings up for me is just a reminder that like there will be times in your life where you're not the same person all the time. Like, and I think for me it was learning that like even though it's not comfortable, it's okay. Like you aren't the same person every day for a reason. Like because you meet different people, because you're in different situations, because it's a different time of year. I think we forget just all the cycles that are always continually happening, like in the world, even though we live in a world where we don't really pay attention to cycles anymore because we are 24/7, go, go, go. There's never a reason to stop until your body says, sorry, you're going to have to stop. And even then, we don't always listen to it because we have so many ways to mitigate problems, pills, creams, anything you want to like push through. And yes, you can push through sometimes, but eventually, I mean, we've talked about this many times, the body will tell you what it needs. And I feel different. I feel like I've returned in a way or been reborn in a way, but I also am very conscious to not overdo it too quickly. But I'm also enjoying just like feeling more myself. It feels really good to feel more myself. But the contrast is why I know that, because for an entire month, it felt like I did not feel like myself. So that's my honesty for today.
Well, and thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Exactly.
We've talked about this before, and this is why this works for us, because one of us talks about something and the other one has a comment or an opinion, which I'm about to give.
Mm-hmm.
So as you were talking, I was thinking, well, the lesson here is, as we've said in the past, it is to be okay with what it is you're going through,
Mm-hmm.
right? And to know that, we're going to go through things. You talked, mainly about what was going on with you, physically with your allergies
Mm-hmm.
but as you were saying it, I was also thinking, it can be the same thing for someone going through something emotional or psychological or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had some, my back in this last week, my lower back was really sore. It's like, okay, where did this come from?
Mm-hmm.
Haven't done anything different. So, you know, that was affecting me psychologically. Um, and it was not great, you
Yeah.
know. And so these things that happen to us physically, affect us emotionally, psychologically. But it's interesting because then things that are emotional or psychological also affect us,
Yeah.
physically. So it works both ways, but the point is um to be okay with it. And I think I even said another episode that, as long as you don't allow yourself to be in that place for an extended period of time,
Mm-hmm.
because then I think it gets to a point where, okay, this is a problem,
Mm-hmm.
where it's really affecting my life. And that's at the point where you might need to get help, you
Right.
know?
In my case too, like speaking of help, it got to the point where I had tried everything I could that I could think of. And it then required other people's insight. Like, I mean, you had suggested going to the doctor earlier on. I waited a little longer, but then eventually when I did, that just knowing what was going on really helped me understand like the things that I was trying to do to help myself. Or, Nikita was like, maybe should have some prune juice because like the allergy meds were making me constipated. And then the constipation was really uncomfortable. And then I couldn't breathe because my nasal passageways were closed, but that was closed because I was using too much nasal spray, not the right one. Like there was so many things that were like, just, I was missing the mark and it was making it a lot worse. And then compounded on that, I was busy and my schedule is very full. So it was really hard to keep it all afloat. But that was what I learned from it, is like I actually don't care to be that busy. Like
Yeah.
that kind of lifestyle. I think we're just born into this idea that we always have to be doing enough. Like, and if you're not contributing to like the world. It's like, can we also spend some time just existing
Yeah.
here? But we are made to feel lazy then.
Yeah. No, I I get that too. Particularly because, I am retired and, I'm like, okay, shouldn't I be doing something?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like I feel like I'm just sort of, um, but I'm like, no, there are things I do things and
Mm-hmm.
I have stuff planned. And when there are days when I don't, just enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy days where I don't have anything planned, just because it leaves it fully open for anything to happen that day that's
Right.
more spontaneous and serendipitous.
Yeah. But I want to go back to when, the physical thing,
Mm-hmm.
um, you gave some good examples of like, okay, what can you do? One is I suggested you go to the doctor, which you did. Two is Nikita said, like try and find, like people try and find, some sort of other, like a natural remedy or something for
Yep,
what's going on. I think it's a little bit more challenging for people when it's something psychological.
fully.
But there too, it's like reach out to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So many people keep things inside and oh, I can deal with this, I can do it. And then they get into a depression and whatever. So like reach out to somebody and talk to them.
Yeah.
Number one, go to a therapist, but not everybody can afford to go to a therapist. I understand
Right.
that. But I just think it's really important to talk to somebody.
Getting it out of your head. This is when you were talking about speaking to somebody, what came to me was that even if the goal of speaking to somebody is not even necessarily to find a solution, but it is just to get these thoughts that are much bigger in your head than they are in actuality, like in real time. Get them out of your head so you can hear what they sound like. That might not even, you may not have someone to talk to, but like write it down, audio message yourself, and then listen to it back to hear what you sound like. Because in your mind, there's so little control sometimes over the thoughts. And so if you can speak them or share them in some way to someone, it's not even about getting a solution. It's just getting it out of your head.
Yeah. And two things which, one of which we both say on, almost every episode, and one which I say on every episode. First one is,
Trust the universe.
well, that's the one I always say. Yes.
Okay.
That, exactly what's happening is supposed to be happening. And again,
Mhm.
it's when something terrible is happening, it's really hard to believe that.
Mhm.
But something will always come from that. But the other is going inside.
Yeah.
We've both brought that up, and when you say, getting out of your head, so when you go inside and when you meditate and when you take that time to be still, get it out of your head and bring it into your heart,
Yeah.
bring it into your guts, your soul, but really bring it into your heart and feel it. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't, very hard to express their feelings. I
Mhm.
am challenged by that, but it's really important.
Yeah.
And you're right. If you can't speak to somebody, then you've got to get it out,
Yeah.
because what will happen, as we've said, you keep it inside, it's going to start to affect you physically,
Mhm.
and you got both going on. So,
Yeah.
you know, well,
There it is.
there it is.
The nuggets.
We always get there.
We always do.
And so yeah, I think we can wrap it up.
I
No?
agree. Um, yeah. Happy summer, happy spring. We're there.
Happy new hairdos.
Happy new hairdos. You know, I think we forget I'll finish with this. We forget sometimes how much we are just as much a part of the cycles of life of the planet as the cycle itself. It is spring. We're emerging. It happens every year, but I think we forget how much, and that can be an emotional, psychological, physical experience. There's layers to what spring means, and that will mean something different to everyone who's going through whatever they're going through. But just allow there to be some grace for the season that we are in, and that no matter how disconnected we become because of our phones, because of whatever reason we're disconnected from the earth, she's still in control.
Yeah.
And we know that, but some are pretending that she's not.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
Justin's little ending rant,
Yes,
which we
my
love.
little Mother Nature tangent.
Yes, that was great. Okay, well, we will see you next week. And oh,
Oh,
the next little episodes that you'll probably see is Justin and I together, because I'm going to
yes,
New York. So yeah, as you're seeing this, I will be in New York.
exactly.
And remember,
Drag is not a crime. And keep it queer.
keep it queer.
Yes.
All right.
While doing drag.
And dyeing your hair.
Yes. living your Barbie fantasy. I'm healing my childhood.
Or your Ken fantasy.
Yeah. I mean, I loved to play with Barbies, but I was never allowed to. Like, I guess it wasn't, it's weird. I wasn't, no, this is a tangent. We'll do that another time. We're done.
All right. And we're out.
And we're out.